Welcome back to episode 130 of the Block Runner Podcast. I'm your host, William, always here with your co-host, Iman.
What's going on, Willis?
Welcome back to the domain and the machine background that we got.
Machine, eh?
Yeah.
Fits our Ruby theme very well.
Yeah, so
there's a lot to talk about.
we got Metaverse stuff. We're going to be spotlighting Monaverse here towards at some point. You know, once we get there.
We're going to continue our theme, right? It's bear market. Obviously, we are the Metaverse guys, so we got to keep up to date with the Metaverse happenings. And if we can, explain to you guys some of the big players that I think are positioning to be big contributors to the growth of the Metaverse. So last week we did Hyperfy.
Yep.
Shout out to those guys if you're watching.
Ash, yeah.
Ash and Friends. I think there's more than just Ash, right?
Yeah, definitely more than just
so
Ash.
Ash and Friends.
Yeah.
Keep working on what you're doing because, as we talked about last week, I think we kind of harped on the idea, which we normally do, of the importance of SDKs and all that stuff, and how that's in alignment with how we want to build out the Metaverse and what we expect from the Metaverse is functional goods and content and all that stuff. So
that's right.
Hyperfy is a good example of that. Yeah, we'll talk about Monaverse later today.
Speaking of the Metaverse, DappRadar, or a CoinDesk article says DappRadar has Decentraland has 650 daily active users.
Yeah.
Again, completely ignoring what everybody is saying, including Decentraland themselves, that they have at least 7,000 or 8,000 daily active users. So another article kind of missing the whole accuracy again. And then on top of that, kind of relying on DappRadar, which DappRadar's focused on the analytics on smart contract interactions.
Mm-hmm.
And when entering specifically Decentraland, you're not interacting with a smart contract. So yeah, this is
so there's never going to be a metric that DappRadar, I guess, can
well, they can. They just they choose not to do that. So, but the update here is that DappRadar is now tracking over 3,500 Decentraland smart contracts across Ethereum and Polygon. So most of these are all wearables / emotes. But yeah, ultimately, this is inaccurate information again from CoinDesk.
Is it though? Is it how? What?
It's not 650 daily active users. More than that. We see.
So Decentraland.
That's a concurrent user base for DG on some good days.
Yeah, not so much this day.
No, not
the last several.
But still,
the last
concurrent
days,
users at 300. I mean, that's not. They're not playing poker all day.
Yeah. No, you're probably right. But is it actually what Decentraland's claiming at 8,000?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You think that's the more accurate number?
I think it is. Yeah. I mean, why would they lie? I mean, they're tracking API calls.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, over the last 30 days, there were a total of 7,000, around 7,500 unique users on the platform, which is a total of 110,000 in volume. And there's a balance of 28 million in assets with Dapp's smart contracts. So yeah, they're just kind of sharing some of these metrics from DappRadar, and a lot of these metrics are not accurate, but nonetheless, more fuel for us to talk about. The value of the Metaverse is still not being had, which we're still a little ways away before that happens.
Okay, so this updated a report or updated metrics doesn't doesn't help that narrative any, is what you're saying. That
no, but it doesn't depend on this either.
No, of course not. Yeah, who really at the end of the day, who cares what CoinDesk
says?
Or
yeah.
CoinDesk. Well, CoinDesk isn't really saying anything; just reporting on what DappRadar is I guess capturing through their platform. So, but yeah, it's just I guess they had to respond because that initial article got a ton of backlash.
Yeah,
right?
38. Yeah,
it became a whole meme. If you're part of the Decentraland community, literally every organization in the community itself found some way to leverage it. It's hey, it's here, all 38 of us here today, gathered today to X party,
Yeah.
Things like this. And there's a festival coming up in a few weeks, I think. So that might be
I guess another measuring stick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But again, they're not the best ideal ones, because events are very short lived.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like one of the things you kind of want to represent the
Yeah,
from
the
a
whole-
value perspective.
Whole concept of the metaverse is just people gathering on event basis.
Well, I mean,
that's
that's
not really the best representation of the potential of the metaverse.
No, but it is part of it. It is part of the expectation, part of the value proposition of a metaverse. The fact that it can be a gathering place for humanity beyond the physical realm, which we know gathering in physical form
It's a very popular activity.
but it's very hard as well. Like,
Yes.
you know, you gotta fucking drive places,
Yeah.
you gotta like fly places, you gotta
Yep.
spend money just to do those things. You know, you gotta damage the planet in the process. You
Yeah.
know, all these
Yeah.
things. In the metaverse, it's like if you want to just gather with your like-minded people or your family, whatever, or your friends,
Yeah.
colleagues, whatever. That's a nice little, you know, opportunity to do such. So
Yeah.
events are going to be important, but yeah, the real important metrics are going to be like the persistent things, like what's happening from day to day to day, you know. And that's
Yeah.
why like these articles are, I don't know, like can be perceived as hit pieces, but they're not. They're really just kind of like, you know, exposing the reality of the situation.
Yeah, there was a tweet by Maddie, DCL blogger, that he kind of outlines the potential of the metaverse in like a swift tweet. It was like people can gather for like a concert, let's say Beyonce's concert, sell out like an entire tour, like 2 million tickets at $100 a piece. That's $200 million.
Mm-hmm.
But in the metaverse, you could sell out, let's say 100 million or 200 million tickets virtually at $20 a piece, netting $4 billion.
Yeah.
And so I think that's going to be a very popular use case of, you know, at least one angle of the metaverse is that people can gather to listen to music virtually and
Yeah, I
you
guess
could
they'd-
generate more money, significantly more money.
So they'd be like singular events in the metaverse, right? Because that would get pretty old.
Well, think
You
about
can't
it.
rewatch these like metaverse events more than once. You know what I mean? Like from the physical musician, I guess, like
Well,
business model is you have to go from location to location, and you're doing the same show over and over and over again, right?
Yeah.
But to a new audience, and then you're raking in a new revenue
Yeah.
chunk at
Yeah.
each destination. So the metaverse is like you just, I guess, invest in like a singular event or experience.
Yeah.
However long or how much money it takes to you know do like a Fortnite concert.
Right.
Probably took them months to do that,
For sure. Yeah.
and a lot of money, a lot of engineering, all that shit. But then, like you're saying, like it's a one-time event where you can attract the whole population in one shot, like a shotgun blast to the world. You know what I mean? And
And
a
you
much
can
more
get
affordable
a
cost.
similar experience from something like that.
Shit,
Similar.
I might even. I was gonna say I might even argue better, but damn, probably not. I don't think anything.
Well, it's interesting because you could replay the concert and then you can have a different position. You can look at it from a different angle.
yeah,
And so there's replayability to a certain extent for a lot
but
of
is
these
it
concerts.
gonna have? It's like it always goes back to that feeling, you know.
No, it's not going to have the same feeling. You're
Like
just
a
like
tactile
watching a
experience.
3D movie, in other
You know, but
words.
for some people, I actually don't even enjoy the feeling of being like in a live concert because, dude, that shit can get like fucking
Yeah.
dangerous,
But
as
I think,
we've seen.
But I think
you
the
know?
feeling is the fact that you're in a concurrent world where with other people at
Yeah.
the same time. That has a different
Yeah.
spin to it. The feeling of having all those people around you at the same time. That's different.
It's definitely different.
Rather than just like watching either a concert on TV or experiencing a concert in the metaverse, but a replay of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think just the value out of the metaverse again is like you can't ever do what you can in the real world, you know, in the virtual sense. Like you could do these weird things like show up from outer space and just crash out of nowhere.
As a giant version of yourself.
Yeah, you could do that in the metaverse. So that's kind of like makes up for the, I guess, the tactile experience of like, yeah, you're all sharing this moment in time together with your fellow humans. We're all packed like sardines.
Yeah.
There's 20,000 of us here.
Yeah.
We're all here to see the same guy. We all worship this motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's our favorite artist. You know, we've been listening to him for years, and we don't even know he was like a real human. We need some kind of like validation. This dude's like not a hologram.
Yeah.
So there he is on stage. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's a whole different thing. You
Dude,
know?
we could see Tupac again.
Oh
We
yeah.
could see like
Yeah, especially with AI, right?
Elvis, like this is a whole new like industry, like resurgence.
Well, yeah. So we could leverage technology to do exactly that, or create whole new artists. Like I think Japan's like way ahead of us on this. Like they have.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They have like digital artists, you know, like little anime characters dancing on screen, and tens of thousands of people showing up to these concerts, you know, worshiping.
That's weird.
A non-human.
That's a little weird.
Is it though?
I think it is.
But weird's a good thing. Weird means, yeah, it's weird, of course, because we've never done that in the history of humans.
Can we have like a completely digitally manifested influencer?
Oh, absolutely. I think so.
That's weird.
I know that's weird, but that's okay. Weird is
yeah.
good.
I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. It just seems.
Well, of course.
Seems like a weird thing to like have humans interact with this digital influencer.
Well, influencer, like, what do you mean? What kind of like a Jake Paul, or like just someone who's on Twitter just says like cheeky comments from time to time, and like everyone gets a lot of follows.
I guess an avatar just becoming famous and people following the avatar. Like ultimately, somebody's behind it. It could be AI.
Yeah, I bet you like some of these Twitter influencers are like AIs right now. Like if you go on Twitter,
probably
like a super popular like Elon Musk says something, and like you look it through the comments, one of the top like upvoted tweeters, it's probably not even a human.
Yeah,
and we don't know it. It's just some AI that just knows like the most like I don't know, witty thing to say at that moment. Tweets it out.
But
does that detract from like the actual message because it wasn't delivered by a human?
What would the difference between that and somebody like a Marshmallow or Deadmau5?
That's a good point. Yeah, these are largely anonymous people, right? So
Deadmau5 not so much anymore.
No,
but yeah.
But even what's the other one that also had a helmet? Come on, Daft.
Oh, Daft Punk.
Daft Punk, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. What is the difference? I mean, yeah, I fell in love with like an image, I guess, like an idea of like a performer. But we knew these are humans, right?
But I guess these digital avatars, there's a human potentially, not AI.
No, we're gonna know. Like, dude, this is definitely not a human. This is AI. This is like a, you know. But damn, she could sing, or damn, he could dance. You know.
But where does that singing capability comes from? It's just like purely digital.
Probably.
Seems like you could easily manufacture this stuff and then it becomes diluted. That's where I'm going with this.
I mean, that's an interesting debate. Yeah, does it get diluted? Because, like I said, Japan is a culture who clearly is like demanding this type of stuff, right? They see value in it. So, I mean, it's just a new market. That's all. Like, there's gonna be people like it's like classic cars. There's gonna be people who are like just like diehard dudes. Like, no, my musician needs to be human. Well, like the next generation, probably the next generation is be like, dude,
who cares?
Why are you listening to those stupid humans? Like, they don't make good music. Like, that's, you know, whatever it is they're into. It's probably just like a sound wave.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Just beeps.
Just like sorting algorithms all day long. Or for whatever reason, the future gen is like all into that shit. You know, it's like, dude, this is jamming. So anyways, yeah, like I could definitely see that. That is not outside the scope of like weirdness of where we are today even.
Yeah.
You know, the shit that we're into.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess if people were looking, let's say even 50 years ago, looking at us right now, I'm pretty sure they would think we're pretty weird.
Oh yeah.
The fact that we spend all the time looking at these like squares in our pockets.
Yeah, so now, speaking of weird, let's transition, I guess, to Mark Zuckerberg and Meta, because like what we're talking about is extremely weird stuff. And I think what Mark Zuckerberg has envisioned for like the future and the metaverse, why he's gambling it all, literally risking it all to make this shit happen, is because like he thinks this is how we're gonna end up.
The next computational platform.
Well, but like this is gonna be. I mean, he's getting mocked and ridiculed essentially from like all of humanity, right?
Yeah, you should watch that interview. I mean, the guy who was interviewing him was basically asking him questions where he was kind of painted into a corner.
What guy? What are you talking about?
Well, the interviewer.
I know, but like, who was it?
Well, I don't know
Some
who he
rando?
was. Yeah, it wasn't a rando guy, but he comes from you know, like a news site.
Interesting.
Yeah. But the point is that he was asking him questions like, how do you feel about Meta's transition after a whole year with this downturn?
Yeah.
And it was like, he doesn't have anything to say. I was like, well, we're not the only ones that are suffering, he said.
So basically, the interviewer was just trying to like really put it in his face, like,
Yeah.
dude, this pivot, this like this
I don't
idea
know
of yours,
I don't know if this was a good idea.
it's really hurting. Yeah, I mean, all these headlines I'm seeing is like internal rumblings, I guess, from within that, like, hey man, like people within their own organization are potentially panicking and losing faith.
See, this is where I think we should lead the discussion, where we try to figure out like the minimum requirements to have like meaningful traction for the metaverse.
Traction?
Yeah, meaningful.
Well, that's another reason
belief.
why, right? Because they set up like a milestone goal, I guess, for Horizon.
Yeah.
500,000.
It was 500,000. It went down. The news was now the goal is 200,000.
Oh, that's the goal.
Yeah.
That's not the actual figure.
Well, a short-term goal at least.
I see.
That it was the aim for 2022 was to get 500,000 people like into Horizon.
Yeah.
But now the new goal has been adjusted to like 200 or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So the reason why you set these goals is because you want to break them, right? So that implies that they don't think we're going to break it.
Plus, the
500K.
team needs to have like a clear goal. It's like we need to achieve this.
KPI, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, so there's that. Even like internally, there's probably like a little bit of, slowdown. And
well, you know what I think it is that people have their own opinions as to how we achieve 500,000 monthly active users in the metaverse.
Well, it's really what it is. It's just it's just too early. Like there's just it's almost indefensible.
But the debate is like, how do we get there? It doesn't matter how early we are. It's like, what is it that we need to achieve from a technology standpoint that will get 500,000 people?
No, agreed, understood, and that's why like I think they're pivoting away from like even like targeting consumers at this point. Like I think they've realized like, dude, just the consumer strategy, like it's not time for that yet.
Well,
as dangerous as that is as like a strategy.
But you agree why, right?
Of course I agree. I've seen what Horizon has to offer. I've seen what Web3 metaverses have to offer. I've seen.
Yeah.
We know the state of the metaverse. We understand, right? The consumer. That's why I say, like, we're not really at the consumer age yet. Just like,
but
cryptocurrency, like we're just now kind of like breaching the consumer market with like things like NFTs and stuff like that, and cryptocurrencies. Even like we're creating interesting crypto ecosystems that like a consumer could potentially like want to take part of.
Yeah.
But it took a long time to get there.
Yeah. If the metaverse is going to be the next internet, what sort of infrastructure needs to exist? And second, what are the early apps that need to be made by the infrastructure builders in order to get the first elements of users and traction, so that developers can be like, yeah, this is going to be the next, internet, the 3D version of the internet. And I am going to build stuff for the metaverse.
Yeah. Well, what was like the internet, like when it first came out, what was like the first?
Well, I think it was like email communication. Yeah.
And then people started spinning up web pages, right? To, I don't know, like
eventually
information,
e-commerce.
Well, that came, I think, that was like a big. Once that came, and
that's when it was.
I think the infrastructure had to get to the point, because I think e-commerce was like companies were exploring with that.
That's true.
But I
don't
think
no way to take in payments until
credit
cards
the consumer didn't trust the internet for a long time.
Well, not only that, the reason is because internet communication wasn't encrypted, so everybody can see what you were doing, right? If they were savvy enough.
Exactly.
And not until we had HTTPS, which is encrypted communication, that's when you could take credit card payments securely.
Yeah. So do you have like a ballpark, like around what time frame like that became like standardized?
Probably late 90s.
Late 90s?
Yeah.
Well, that was a little earlier than I was expecting. I thought maybe like 2000 and something, because I became a pretty standard internet user probably late 90s.
Yeah, because there was a little icon, a little lock icon in your browser at that time, and so but it wasn't a standard, right? HTTPS was not a standard; it was a proposed standard, and then it became standard, and then credit cards and everything started happening.
Yeah. So that's kind of like the same question you're asking. Like, that's obviously a very important infrastructure development for the internet in order for companies and developers to start targeting consumers. Like, all right, now we could build, reputable products and services on the internet that people can actually interact with and extract value from.
Yeah.
So the metaverse, I mean, shit. Well, yeah, what are those infrastructure components, right?
Yeah.
I don't even think you could determine. Yeah, you can't even come up with that until you figure out like the, the value proposition of the metaverse. Like, yeah, who's the demographic?
Yeah.
Who do we want participating?
Yeah.
And then like, what do we want them doing? And then for what purpose and what value can come of that? And then we can start thinking of infrastructure.
See, they say that the metaverse is going to be the next internet, but the internet has provided something that was very difficult to achieve before the internet, which was worldwide communication.
Yeah.
What does the metaverse enable that is very difficult to achieve without the metaverse?
I guess based on what I'm seeing, like how the metaverse is playing out, how people like, Herman Narula and Improbable talk about the metaverse, and Mark Zuckerberg himself, it's like basically the same thing, communication, but like with the presence. That's why like Improbable is focusing so hard on like bringing as much physical presence as you can into the metaverse, like increasing the threshold of people that could be together in a singular space and time within the metaverse itself. So it's communication, but like I guess like
imagine
having a presence for that.
Imagine you go to google.com right today. You go to the website. It's just a blank page, a text box. You enter it. You search for stuff. What would that look like in the 3D world where all of us can join this like space where we can see others like also searching, maybe not seeing what they're searching, but you'd know that there's like millions of people concurrently on Google trying to search for stuff.
Why would you want that space to begin with? Like,
I don't know. It's a 3D version of the internet, right?
No, but I think like
imagine
but you're just gonna like I don't know. You'll probably, from an individual user standpoint, like whatever verse you're in, you're got to be connected to some sort of application layer, right? That's able to conduct these search functions within the metaverse itself, right? So it could simply be something like, I don't know, like an emote even. You know how you could program an emote from an avatar to, you can have a custom emote that searches for, it pops up like a search function interface or something, and then I don't know, maybe like it listens to your voice. You could just literally add like an in metaverse Siri, basically, or what's the Google version? Alexa.
Alexa, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey Alexa, like in the metaverse.
Of course. Of course.
I don't.
What I'm saying is, Google has tons of like daily active users on the website. What if they leverage the metaverse concept and they put people's like avatar in front with each other, like that you can feel like there's others like on the page right now?
I think I don't know, that would be impossible. I think like because how many users have like on Google like concurrently? Probably like
it's millions,
tens of millions at any given time. Probably not possible.
I mean, but okay, you don't need to see all millions, but if you see like 10,000 people there, like in a room, and they're all like, they're there because they're searching stuff just like you.
Okay,
but the fact that you can see them like on the same space, on the same website, but you can see each other virtually, like I feel like that has something to it.
Like a virtual library where you're walking around and everybody's searching for different things.
Yeah. Like I feel like that is a spin that Google could do that could be like, hey, you along with like a million others are searching for stuff right now. And that's that's the little app that they do to be part of the metaverse.
It would definitely, I guess, but are we really all going to just be like standing there?
Literally nothing, because
there's no fun in that,
Well, you don't want people like, being able to chat with each other, because all of a sudden it's going to be a huge mess of trash.
Yeah, it would just be like
it's like a hello and goodbye. That's it. That's
I see what you're saying, Will, and I think that would be like a very entry level thing. But you got to imagine Google's going to do something way cooler than that.
Well, for sure. Yeah,
you would think so. But
all I'm saying is like Google would be the biggest flex in terms of, here are all the people that are on the Google website, and you can see them all, right? Yeah. Like physically or digitally present.
Yeah.
And I think that would be an interesting kind of application of the metaverse for Google, for their website. And like there would be like an additional button on Google's like, metaverse, and it's like you could see everybody searching concurrently.
Yeah, but that would imply like, all that means is like when you hit that metaverse button, you just generate an avatar. It's pretty much like you're in crypto voxels, like
Pretty much, yeah, exactly like that. Exactly.
It's just a web browser verse,
Yeah.
you know, and then you're just kind of floating around in like an empty white abyss, maybe.
Yeah.
With everybody else.
Yeah.
But all these people. I mean, it's an interesting question. I struggle to like
why?
Yeah.
Why not? That would be my answer.
That's definitely something I would expect from like some like early metaverse type shit, right? It's just like Google just like, let's just do something.
Yeah.
Right? Let's just use the virtual landscape for something. And yeah, that makes sense as like an entry level like contribution.
Yeah, think of it this way. Google changes their logo for like some sort of charity, right? The Google logo changes, right? Mm-hmm. That charity could be represented in a 3D space where they're trying to push, grow some trees or whatever it is.
See, now you're just extrapolating down to the pathway of like at some point they're just gonna want their own like dedicated verse where they could do anything.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like it's not like it's just Google verse. Like.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Then they could host events if they want to like highlight some sort of like, I don't know, historical figure. They got obviously the resources to do like a Fortnite-esque Travis Scott event, but like, I don't know. It's just like you're watching like a digital representation of Martin Luther King give his actual speech or something. Like
See, that's crazy. Yeah.
And you could be there and present during this speech. Everybody.
Martin Luther King Day. That day, it's like you can relive that in 3D and just like
relive history.
I think they did something similar to that with the planets recently.
Yes.
Who did? Yeah. Google?
Google did.
Yeah.
They had a little link on their screen where they're like explore the planets, and you could like jump in and like see more stuff.
See,
so they're already.
I can see that. I can see that
pretty much, right?
Yeah, I can see that happening.
So yeah, like TJ said, they're not gonna create like the white room, which is floating avatars. Google is gonna go like a beyond.
It would be cool to have like a Matrix-esque where they were shopping for the guns and stuff. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Maybe like that white room, and like it's just like.
Yeah,
like infinite rows.
It's like today's the 20th anniversary of the Matrix, and it was like you're in there, and it's just like all these weapons show up, and and it's just like a little Easter egg.
Yeah, see, this is what's fascinating about the metaverse, right? You could just imagine things, and like you can make it happen. Actually, is the thing. Like it's possible, but like the is there utility in that?
Well, here's a couple of things.
Sustainable.
So to do that. In a way that's sustainable, you need identity, right? So Google would attach an ETH address. That ETH address is attached to an avatar. It would load that avatar. Now you can see everybody's avatar. So at least that's an angle that needs to be solved.
Google is already like allowing search functions for ETH addresses, so they're on the pathway to this whole on-chain identity scheme.
Yeah,
and integration.
Isn't it obvious?
Well. No, nothing's ever obvious.
I'm definitely putting my search mode in Matrix mode though, where like anything I search for just flies right past me. Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I could see Google definitely coming out with that feature.
Yeah, and get IP infringement.
Yeah, well, it's like you go to Google right now. You hit like you search. I don't know. Search, like a water bottle. You need a new gym bottle or something, and then you go to the shopping tab. And it just pulls up pretty much like an infinite scrolling feature of like 2D panel displays of all these products.
Why couldn't that be 3D? Yeah.
It can. Well, we need a lot more technology, I guess, to enable such. But if anyone's going to develop that, it's Google, right?
I mean, I'm not saying the items being 3D, but like the
whole
just like UI aspect.
Yeah, like you're actually in there.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get like a closer look.
Yeah.
So that's where things like VR start to make a little more sense. Because now it's like you have your VR perspective. You can kind of like... But then you want them to be 3D if you're in VR, right? I want to see the goods. I want to see the product. Why can't we just... We've already seen the technology where you could scan anything and make it 3D.
I can exactly.
So why wouldn't Google just scan, or any company
Amazon.
in the world? Yeah, Amazon.
All those items on Amazon, all of them have 3Ds. Like, add your images to your store, right? You're selling like shoes or whatever, and then add the GLB models that represent those images.
You know, Amazon can hardwire their fucking warehouses to do that for every single item.
Yeah.
Just like a little...
absolutely. It's just a scan. It's just a
conveyor
belt.
I was getting like an airport conveyor belt. It just like goes through the little flap. Comes out the other side like a
fully 3D scan.
Fully 3D, dude. Now it's in the metaverse.
Of course, dude. This is going to happen.
This is
for sure.
Happen.
I mean... It's easy. We can do this with our cell phones. They can do it much, much faster.
Well, yeah, for them it's easy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're already on it. I hope so. With like 100,000 engineers or however many Google has, hopefully like one of their divisions, like, you know what, this is actually kind of useful. Like, you know, we could sell a lot more product potentially to a lot more people around the world.
It's like, let's say you're trying to buy this table from Amazon, and it's like, I can measure it. I can kind of like put some tape down on the floor, but I can't really imagine it, right?
It's true.
So why not be able to do an AR of this, you know,
we
this table?
Now I think about it, we could have created like a custom space, right? Like, because we had this whole dilemma designing this studio.
Yeah.
Trying to visualize shit. You know?
Yeah.
We could have taken the dimensions like we did, and then go to some sort of like, you know, metaverse custom creation engine, which, you know, there's people doing that. Just create like a little virtual space with these exact dimensions and
like give me options.
Like these shelves we got here. Yeah. Like we bought them right from Amazon or something, I'm assuming. So we could have just imported them with their 3D GOV and just all these cameras and lights and everything.
Yeah.
Just recreate this whole
setup. It's a scale. And then in AR, you can actually visualize this whole thing.
Yeah, so I think they do that. Like big companies, they, you know, design like their like factories and stuff like that with these things called digital twins. So like there's companies that facilitate these kind of like 3D mock-ups.
Sure.
But this is what we're talking about is like, I guess like a little more consumer friendly. Like that's applicable again to the consumer side. Like everybody can access these types of tools, and
you know, I find
like these are the types of things that will get people in the metaverse, right?
Yeah,
like trying shit on, and
I find it hard to believe that people struggle to understand like the importance of the metaverse because it's just everything on the internet is 2D. Why can't it be 3D? Like, dude, why is that such a leap?
But why would I even like think like that? Like if I'm not like, you know, invested or you know, I'm enjoying my 2D life.
Well, it's like saying I'm enjoying my horse and buggy. Like, why do I need a car? That's what you just said right now.
Well, it's like we were talking about before we started this. Well, the most of the like hate that you see online and stuff is mostly people thinking that this is just a game. Like they think the metaverse is just a game.
Yeah, I think there's that mindset, and then also the narrative, the fact that like the metaverse was only implanted into mainstream consciousness by, you know, Facebook. Before Facebook's pivot, nobody even heard the word metaverse. You know, definitely nobody was aware of Decentraland or, you know, none of these spin-off metaverses, right? This was not in anybody's radar. But now, all the negative sentiment that's come along with Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg in his past, and, you know, those Hollywood flicks that made him look like, you know, one of the typical assholes.
Yeah.
All that whole ethos of like, man, this guy's he's trying to convert society into a digital one.
Yeah.
Fuck that. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to align with that. That's so.
Yeah, you asked earlier, like, what's the proposition of the metaverse for? Really, you were alluding to the differences between the West and everyone else. I think the proposition is the ability to create a digital nation where anyone can be part of that nation and contribute. And whether you're in the West or East, it doesn't matter. But the whole but maybe that the application of that idea is really for the East, for everyone not in the West.
Well, yeah, because when you're asking for contribution, what you're saying is like time investment
and opportunity.
Well, yeah, there's different demographics of people on this planet and what people allocate their time for, right? When you're a member of a developed nation with like a stable economy, situation where
you're not looking for opportunities.
No, like you exist in a society that has ample opportunity for you to identify value for yourself and for your family, people you love, right? That's kind of like, that's why these developed nations are in a stable state to begin with. They've developed economic models that are designed for, human contribution to spend their time to produce value, right? That's how economies operate.
Yeah.
But that's not how it is for everybody, right? So we could do similar type, economic infrastructure layers in the metaverse that can give these people these similar type of opportunities. That's it.
Yeah.
It's just, but the people in the West who, again, are already immersed in that, that these flows of value throughout their day.
Yeah.
When they're coming home, they're plugging into their devices and stuff. They're not looking for that. They're looking to unplug a little bit from that whole, economic contribution and expectation from you. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Basically, the West just wants to like have fun. That's why like the main prevalent sentiment is like, dude, how's the metaverse like better than GTA?
Yeah,
that's like half the people who are watching that Facebook presentation. Like, dude, can we get like Rockstar Games on here and like tell us the next GTA, please? Like, I'm sick of this shit. Like, this is not going to be fun, right? Mm-hmm. Nothing Mark Zuckerberg was presenting looked fun. As when they got to the game section, they flexed Beat Saber again.
Yeah.
Like, really? That's the best thing you got as far as like a fun and engaging experience in your whole VR universe? Like, dude,
I don't know. I feel like you're going to be surprised. Like, once the metaverse pops off, I think there's going to be a lot of Westerners in it. Not necessarily in it for the fun, because they can go play Call of Duty afterwards, but in it for like different reasons. For that immersion, for that the fact that they can own the digital wearables and avatars. And
I mean, they're already trying, dude. Every time I drive home at night and I'm listening to the radio, there's like this iHeartRadio shit in Roblox. Yeah. Like they keep promoting and marketing. It's like Roblox. Come see these artists perform in Roblox.
Huh? Really?
Yeah, it's already happening. It's like this. We don't have to wait around for nothing. Like, and Roblox, it's in Fortnite. These are, as consumer facing of a platform as you can get. These are ubiquitous.
Yeah.
These games are pretty much in the hands of every household in America. So I'm not hearing like this runaway success of like, these types of business models or, concert models, whatever it is. Like, I don't know if these kids are really like buying into it yet. So I don't think Web3 metaverses are going to enable anything.
But Travis Scott was pretty successful and Marshmello was pretty successful. Maybe it's over diluted. Maybe like it's like too many concerts or something.
I don't know. The point is just okay. Yeah, I could see the West getting into that just so they could see digital interpretation of that.
Yeah. But beyond that, you can't see the West really engaging in anything other than that entertainment aspect of the metaverse.
Well, because that's clearly very entertaining, right?
Yeah, it is.
That's an expected result. That's something they're not going to get typically from their AAA gaming experience.
Yes,
that's why they bought into. They're like, oh shit, this is actually something new.
Yeah,
and engaging. This is a reason for me to hop in, I guess.
But Fortnite is a AAA game.
Yes.
It's a AAA game, and then they're like, hey, Travis Scott, let's do something weird.
Yeah. But that's the thing. But that's why those people, those users, those tens of millions of users log in every day. It's to play the game, really.
Yeah.
Because that's the value they provide, is that fun and engagement. So the metaverse is not a game, like we've said. So what is it that metaverse provides as far as value to tens of millions of people to log in every single day? It's not just events, right?
Yeah, it's not just entertainment either. It's
not.
It's an economy. It's a work environment.
It's everything. Yeah, it's whatever the internet does. Like, it has to be that useful, and because the internet. Yeah, you can have fun on the internet, watching things. You can have fun, I guess, learning things. So,
yeah, maybe the metaverse is just the internet, but a multiplayer experience. That's it. Like, it could be anything as boring as learning stuff to entertaining as shooting at each other.
No, that's actually a big difference. Yeah, like, I always wanted to, like watch Netflix, like, as a multiplayer experience,
Yeah.
I thought that would be cool.
Yeah.
But it's not as cool as, like, it's like, if a Netflix viewing party was like, we got like little icons on the screen. It's like, hey, my friends are here watching the same show as me.
Yeah, it's
definitely not as cool as like we're all actually like in the metaverse, like present with one another. Yeah. We could talk to each other while the movie's going on. Yeah, that's a multiplayer experience for sure. Like, that's something
that might be the best explanation of what the potential of the metaverse is. It's just the internet, but a multiplayer experience.
Multiplayer version of it. Yeah, we were talking about that, like applications that have multiplayer like features.
Yeah,
like Notion,
Figma,
Miro,
Canva.
Yeah, like that adds so much just to like the work process and to collaboration, stuff like that. So multiplayer is a big fucking deal, you know. Yeah, the fact that the internet is only like a single use, like it's only you, there's no real shared identity.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's not an obvious problem.
Yeah, I don't know if problem's the word, but it's definitely
it's a hindrance. It's
not as cool as it can be.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So yeah. Man, that was quite the rabbit hole, but I think it was a conversation that needed to be had because so many people have a misunderstanding of what this is, and it's still not the most clear. But nonetheless,
I don't think there's anybody on there still who has like a definitive like this is what it's gonna be. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think we're getting closer.
You mean us?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess through the exercise of these podcasts and these discussions, like this is the only way. But that's not even true. Like this doesn't help. I mean, it helps a little bit, but what actually happens is like when developers actually build things and people come to.
That's part of what we do. So we try to figure out like what the problems. I mean, that's what we're trying to do here in this discussion is figure out like what is needed in order to get that traction for the metaverse. Like what are the technologies that are required? Like in HTTPS, like encrypted communication.
Yeah.
What's that for the metaverse?
Mm-hmm.
To enable like, you know, millions of people onboarded and like stuck in there.
Well,
like,
it's got,
like so much so like when you go to Google, you're going to want to search Google in 3D.
Well, yeah. So you could just say website XYZ, all the most popular ones that have, you know, millions and millions, billions of
Amazon,
users.
Yeah.
What do? They all enable some utility, right? There's a function to these websites that provide humanity with very valuable services, right?
Yeah.
The metaverse has to do the same exact thing. That's it.
Yeah, it's true.
It's really not that difficult, I guess. But there's the thing is that the infrastructure doesn't exist, so developers don't even have the chance to kind of like, you know, make an attempt at creating something of value for humanity, right? At the metaverse level.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about Amazon. It's like, hey, you know, Jeff, everybody's talking about the metaverse. What do you think we should do? And it's like nobody really knows. Like, does it make sense to make Amazon all in 3D? Like, I don't know. But I think there should be elements of 3D within Amazon that you can kind of like plop down furniture in AR like automatically.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about phygital stuff earlier on another recording. So, I mean, I could see a potential where, you know, Amazon feels the need to make all their goods phygital, right? Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Or if not Amazon, at least the companies that are distributing through Amazon, they want to have phygital components to them, meaning, you know, this product that you're buying through Amazon also has like a digital, you know, representation and connection. Yeah. And therefore, like ownership. Well, see, that's the hard part. You would have to, I guess, get Amazon to adopt all of that. So, yeah, or they come up with their own like solution, their own blockchain, all that stuff.
So, what do you think is the ultimate use case for the metaverse? Like, what is the dominant industry that is generating trillions of dollars? What is the activity that would elicit $1 trillion volume worth of activity?
Activity?
Yeah,
man, I don't think I could predict that. It's just.
Is it a workforce economy? Is it going to be the entertainment industry? I mean, what do you think is going to be?
I don't know.
Like the main use case.
I think there's going to be a shit ton of different models of how to get people to contribute their time. What value or what product or service that ends up like being? There's no way to tell. You know, but the point is like that has to be the formula, right? People's time in the metaverse has to equal money, just like time equals money out here in the real world. Mm-hmm. If you can't figure out how to do that, then the metaverse will never work.
It's an economy then.
Yes, of course.
That's like the main.
Well, it's like saying like, what's the activity of human beings that's like prevalent? Like there is no main activity. It's just we all show up. That's our activity. We all have different tasks and assignments.
But it can be subdivided into industries, right? There's the technology industry. There's the transportation industry, entertainment industry. The biggest one is technology.
Is it? It's bigger than like, you know, I don't know, like energy? It probably is. I wonder.
I would have to look into that.
Yeah, but I know. Okay, so I know what you're saying. So
like
it's
what,
not activities. Like, yeah,
what industry is going to be the most aligned with like the metaverse like idea? And it could be just like, man, it's like e-commerce, or maybe not e-commerce, but like,
I mean,
jobs.
So
jobs in general.
Well, jobs is, again, all those industries have jobs too. You know what I mean? So you can't just say jobs. Like, jobs implies, again, everything is. But yeah, if I were to answer, it would be something like that. But there's different job requirements or job opportunities. I mean, we can't label it.
Well, because we got City, we got Grayscale. They're all predicting $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? What is everybody doing for $1 trillion? That's what I'm wondering.
I know. What are they doing?
What elicits $1 trillion of volume? Cryptocurrency at its peak was $3 trillion. We got the metaverse at a peak $13 trillion prediction. Like what is happening?
I think a lot of what happens in Web3 at some point converges to the metaverse, just to give access points, I think, to people across the planet. Again, I think the reason why I don't know if these $1 trillion predictions are factored because of that. It grants accessibility to corners of the world. Again, human beings who are not accessing like the actual global markets in today's environment, right?
Yeah.
It's exclusive. There's only I'd say like a third of the planet like tapped into the actual global financial system, tapped into the global like work economy, the manufacturing economy, all that stuff. Like the physical realm has excluded the majority, right? So the metaverse has the opportunity to bring them in. That's it. Now that just means they're gonna have to find some way to contribute their time again to produce value. Now, that's all we know at this point. That is the opportunity in front of us.
Yeah.
The metaverse, Web3, all the tools we're creating, when applied properly and developed over time, when there's a mature ecosystem and the infrastructure's in place.
Yeah.
This is possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we've seen like breakthrough moments like Axie Infinity. There was a point in time where millions of people from around the planet,
mainly the Philippines.
Well, but yeah, but could those millions of people ever have participated in the real world economy?
No, definitely
from their geographic situations? No, you can't. No. But guess what? They tapped into the metaverse. They had the access. All they had to do was be delegated an Axie and become a scholar. Before you know it, they were contributing their time towards some sort of economic activity. Mm-hmm. Yes, that thing did not sustain like too long, but nonetheless, that's the maturation we're kind of like.
Yes.
We need to figure out sustainability, sustainable value producing models, right?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's been proven. It's happened. It can happen more as the metaverse continues to mature and more people participate, not just the Philippines, right? Mm-hmm. People from around the planet.
Yeah.
Then shit.
Yeah, I think that's a big opportunity for the metaverse is the people who don't have access to economic opportunity now have the potential for that access.
Yeah, so the metaverse needs to become much more accessible for this to happen, and
has to be built. There has to be some sort of infrastructure in place for developers to make Axie-like economic experiences.
Yeah, ecosystems, not an infinite showcase of
galleries,
statues, and things to look at. You're not going to build an economy unless everything's like look to earn. It's like
that's like the worst tokenomics.
Yeah, it won't sustain clearly. Yeah. Play to earn is struggling hard enough. Mm-hmm. So it's got to be like all these activities can be factored into like an overall economic model that could potentially have some sort of sustainable outlook. Yeah, right? Just like all of everything we do in society as a conglomerate, it's stabilized by our collective efforts, right?
Yeah.
We all use the same currency. We all get paid with the same currency. We all earn that thing. The companies earn that thing from the consumers. We all funnel it back to government at the end of the year, stuff like this. Like we're all part of this huge complex system.
So you're saying we need a stable coin
we need much more like ecosystem. We need bigger complex economies. Like I think like all of the metaverse just needs, it's going to become like
all of DeFi.
Like you said, a digital nation.
Yeah.
That needs to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a nation-esque
And we need all the complexities of traditional finance.
Yes.
All of it in ideally in crypto.
That's the thing. This is what's being built with DeFi, right? The verticals exist.
Yeah.
They're happening.
Yeah.
But they're not, even in DeFi, they're still figuring out their own, dilemmas and coming up with the proper tooling. So
And on top of that, I was listening to, there's an interview with Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, and they were asking about crypto, and he was saying that Bitcoin is going to continue trading at between $18,000 and $22,000 for like the next 2 years until regulation sets a standard so that huge institutions that are, he explained that there was a bank account, or there's a bank overseas that has 5 million accounts, each with over $2 million. And those guys are basically waiting for regulation to set in where SEC basically green lights, institutional activity within Bitcoin. And then all those funds are going to funnel into Bitcoin, and then you're going to see like a huge explosion.
So what are they waiting for? Like, as far as just...
Well, they don't want to do anything that's going to put in jeopardy their money. And they're not going to do anything until the SEC has clear regulations around crypto.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They have a big fiduciary
for sure
responsibility to mitigate as much risk as possible.
That's right.
They have their own markets to play with to still generate their yields. They don't need crypto. That's
they don't. You're right. They don't.
And that's kind of like, that's what I keep saying. Like, the West does not need crypto in any way. Well, of course they would like to participate if there's an earning opportunity, like a new one, additional one.
I wish I knew which sort of part of the planet he was referring to, because I don't know if he was overseas and referring to the United States or in the United States referring to somewhere in the East.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. And then let me rephrase too. Like right now, the West doesn't need all these things, but like maybe at some point in the future we will. Like depending on
Yeah, if the United States ends up being a financial loser.
Yeah, if we lose that position of financial reserve currency, status of financials, whatever it is, dominance, then we'll be expected to participate like anybody else.
As it should. I mean, we're all participating in the planet, whether we know it or not.
Yeah.
Right. And everything should be equally as accessible, right? As we all have access to the planet.
Yeah, we only have a few minutes left, so let's as is tradition, I guess.
Yes.
We want to hop into a dedicated verse every time we do these podcast recordings. So last week was Hyperfy. Dan, you just hopped right in. So where are we, dude?
This is one of the Monaverse's I guess experiences that they have.
Yeah,
right from
basically
the website.
A space. I think like the idea of spaces is becoming pretty like standardized, right? Spatial has spaces. This is basically like a virtual. It looks like a whole world, right?
Yeah,
but it's not. There's bounds to it. You can't just like go out and explore this world, right? It's a space. Like there's whoever created this used the tool sets and features of Monaverse to create this, and I think part of the platform itself is now you can mint these into NFTs and sell them to the marketplace. So if you wanted to, so this is there it is,
the gallery.
Gallery. So if you're listening, definitely check into the YouTube channel so you could see what this looks like. So these are NFTs on display, right?
Yes, I would assume. Yielding. What is this? Headline crypto.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is I don't know, man. This is like the early representation of, I'd say, like the late or the early 1990s of what an internet website is going to be like.
Yeah, I think that's a great parallel. Like this is just
a very crude example of just like a metaverse experience.
It's basically a display, right?
Yeah, and so let me.
It's like a 3D diorama,
right?
And like the early internet were like 2D dioramas. Like it's just if you have some information you want to convey to your visitor, put it on your 2D webpage and then give them a link. Here it is. And that's pretty much all you could do is just like look at things and soak it in.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we are right now in the metaverse. Like you could deploy these 3D spaces and display things. So whoever created this, This is his flexing material. These are his assets. Like, dude, I'm fucking cool.
Imagine walk with me on this scenario. We go to google.com. It's like all of a sudden this is what you see, right? Okay. And you could just opt to type in something to search, right? Or you can kind of pan the camera. You can see like thousands of others doing the same thing, and then you can opt to just like kind of run around, just to like just to see the concurrent experience of Google and everybody searching for stuff.
Yeah,
and most people are not going to do that, but some will. And
so you mean like the actual the thing you were looking at, like the terminal?
Yeah, the terminal is
Google terminal
is like an actual search function, right?
See, what Google should do is we should make that meta. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
make the actual functional component of Google be part of every metaverse. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the whole purpose. Like the Google doesn't need to spend time building a Google verse unless it's again their own unique
and
shit.
all they're doing is they are manifesting the whole immersive concept of all of us are doing searches, right? We're all searching.
I see.
Right, because that's how we use the internet, right? So.
But do you think? Imagine if that all these terminals, like they're just individual Google boxes. Imagine if that's how we had to search, like in the metaverse. Don't you think people would get kind of like?
It would be annoying, yeah, for sure.
Unless it's like instant. It's just like
But that's what I mean. It's like the actual functionality of searching is very easy. You go to a website, you search, and you're done, right? That's what you want. That's like the most optimized experience. The whole point of this is that so Google can show that you're with others searching. That's it. That is the end of that function.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I was thinking. Is like this would be a good flex for Google to be like, yeah, we got billions of concurrent users right now searching for stuff. You're not alone.
Yeah.
Right, because the internet right now is a single player experience.
I'd be very interested. Like that would be a great if that did cost like any money to like develop and deploy. It'd be great just to see.
Yeah, just
Google roll it out and see who actually uses it.
Yeah,
like, what would be cool, Will, is if you had like you could join like a search party and you could have like a group searching for things.
Yeah, dude. You see, now it's a multiplayer searching.
Well, of course,
experience.
but like, what do you mean? Like it's just like it's like a fucking porn group or something?
No,
like,
dude. Like, say like I want to find a new guitar. Who else is looking for new guitars or something?
Oh yeah. Then you guys could talk about like your.
Yeah, you can create a community just from searching.
Yeah, or the porn too. It's like, dude, it's like anything, right?
Yeah,
dude. It's like, that's actually a fucking great point. Yeah,
it's like, hey, you're looking for the metaverse. I'm looking for the metaverse. Or like,
it's like, you guys find anything good over there? Like, you guys researching?
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys searching how to like
real time communities, dude.
It'd be good for like
for porn.
No, I was gonna say probably good for like the FBI to like really crack down on like who are like the dark web users. You know what I mean? Because they would all congregate together.
Yeah.
Basically, you'd have like 4chan on here.
Yeah.
It's like all searching like the worst things to search. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, dude, we got those guys. So you gotta watch those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then imagine like you can kind of like flex your wearables that you've collected throughout your experience in the metaverse, and other people can see is like, oh, you got those new Jordan Nikes. Those are hard to get.
So that whole breakdown, what are the essential components of that experience that all of a sudden we're all like in agreement, like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what was it? Like multiplayer?
Multiplayer, yeah.
Social.
Yes.
You have to be able to talk to your neighbor kiosk user.
Yeah.
Functionality.
Yeah.
You gotta, if you're all present, there has to be present similar functionality.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know. That's good enough for now.
Yeah.
Like, let's focus on those tenets for now, and let's build up some more. And then like these are the
multiplayer, functional, social.
So far.
Yeah.
And there's probably like a couple more like within this scenario we just built up.
Yeah.
To where
interoperable, because everybody needs to see my wearables.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. If we show up in Googleverse, like I better have all my cool shit with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
So interoperable. Yeah, these are all complex things.
I know. So we're not gonna be able to do this anytime soon. In other words.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right, man.
Well, at least we have a goal.
Yeah, that's the goal.
All right, guys. That's been the podcast for today. We were talking about, I guess, Decentraland, CoinDesk, the Metaverse.
A little bit of
Zuckerberg. We try to, I guess, outline the minimum requirements for why people or why institutions are predicting a multi-trillion-dollar metaverse.
Yeah, shout out Monaverse for
Monaverse. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were gonna get into. They have an AI tool that they just announced.
I have the tweet here. I can show real quick.
Yeah, real quick.
Introducing the AI material generator. So basically, when you have a GLB object, you have to basically kind of wrap it with an image.
Skin.
Skin, yeah.
Yeah.
And so these textures can be generated by AI, and now you can manipulate the textures sort of with text.
Like you can see it in this video right here. It's just like, and the cool thing is, we've used AI tools before. Like, dude,
that's cool.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So they're just leveraging existing tools and making it part of their, developer tool set.
Yeah.
And I just think it's cool. More metaverses are, of course, going to start implementing AI to the creative process. So
yeah,
that's why these mono creators are able to produce such, visually, aesthetically pleasing places to visit, So
yeah, for the audio listeners, make sure you watch us on YouTube. We showed a lot of stuff today, and a lot of it was visual. So appreciate you guys listening. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at The Block Runner, at MetaZone.io, and at Rovi AI. And we will catch you on the next podcast.
Peace.